kids, welcome to Bubble Club. It's week number 11, and we got some exciting things planned for you today. I'm glad you could join us. This week, we'll take a look in the Bible at the story of Ruth and how she cared for her mother-in-law, Naomi. Then, our friend Megan is going to lead us in a craft. I wonder what it could be. Stick around to find out. Let's get into the story. Naomi had had a hard life. She and her husband and their 2 sons moved to a place called Moab because there was a famine in their home of Bethlehem. You might remember that town. Soon, some terrible things happened though. Naomi's husband died, and she was left alone with her sons. The 2 sons married, however. They married 2 women from Moab. One of them was named Ruth. Hey, I'm Ruth. But in a little while, her sons died too. Naomi decided to go back to Bethlehem to live near her relatives. Ruth, one of Naomi's daughter-in-laws, decided to go with her. Naomi wanted Ruth to stay in Moab with her family, but Ruth wouldn't leave Naomi's side. Ruth declared, "Where you go, I will go. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God." So Naomi and Ruth returned to Bethlehem at harvest time. But the women had no way to earn money for food. At that time, because of the culture, it was hard for women to provide for themselves. So Ruth received permission to gather grain that was left in the fields by workers. Boaz, a relative of Naomi, hey, I'm Boaz, saw Ruth working in his field one day. He was kind to Ruth and told his workers to leave extra grain for her. He told Ruth to only work in his field, because that's where she could be safe, and he even provided water for her to drink. Boaz said to Ruth, "Ruth, I heard what you have done for your mother-in-law. May God reward you." Naomi was pretty proud of Ruth, and Ruth was kind to Naomi and took care of her. Naomi's friends told Naomi, "Naomi, Ruth is better to you than 7 sons." After a while, Ruth and Boaz were married, and they had a son named Obed. Naomi loved her grandchild and helped care for him. Obed grew up, and guess who he was? He was the father of Jesse and the grandfather of King David. Do you know who that makes Ruth an ancestor of? Jesus. In past weeks, we've talked about how everyone in the family has an important role to play in making a family a healthy and loving family that works together. We talked about how husbands and wives and moms and dads have important jobs to do, but also how kids have an important job to do too. But every family looks different. Not every family has all the same members. In our story today, Naomi's family certainly didn't have all the members that we talked about. They had been through some terrible times. Her husband had died, and then her sons had died too. This left the family as just Naomi and her daughter-in-law Ruth, who her son had married before he died. Even though they had been through some really hard times together, Ruth recognized the important role she had to play for the family, of caring for her mother-in-law and providing food for her, and sticking with her, even when it would have been easier to leave. It would have been a lot easier for Ruth to go back to where she used to live after her husband died. She recognized that now Naomi was her family, and God was calling her to serve and care for her. And you know what? God was super happy with how Ruth chose to act. Eventually, Ruth married Boaz, and her and Naomi were both able to be taken care of a little better. And Ruth ended up being the great I don't really know how many great-grandmother of Jesus. So Ruth's hard work paid off, and she became the ancestor to Jesus, the Savior of the world. What do you think of that? It's time for our craft of the week, so I'm gonna throw it over to Megan.
Hi kids, my name's Megan and I'm going to be showing you how to make the craft for this video. So let's start. Some supplies that you are going to get this week are a bowl of dirt, a little bowl, some grass seeds, a sock, some googly eyes, and last but not least, you're going to get some small elastics. So you might be wondering, what are we making with all these supplies? Well, we're making chia pets. So let's get into it. The first step is to grab your sock, and you want to fill it with dirt. And you can put all the dirt you get in, or you can put less in. It all depends on how big you want your chia pet to be. To make this a bit easier to fill your sock, roll up the sock so that it's not as long. This way you can put the dirt right in the bottom. So once you filled your sock up with the amount of dirt that you want, you're going to go ahead and grab your grass seed. And what you're going to do with your grass seed, you're going to sprinkle it on the top of the soil inside the sock. You're just going to pour it in. Give it a little shake. And then you're going to go ahead and make a knot. Make sure the knot is as close to the soil as you can, just so it's not up here and a bit gapey at the top. So now that you have the grass seed on top, it's time to make a nose. So with one of the elastics that you get, you're going to pinch some of the soil in the middle to form a little ball. And then you're going to wrap the elastic around the soil that you collected. So there you go, you have a nose. And now you're going to make some ears for the side. And it's just the same way you made the nose. Alright, so there you go. I have my ears on the side and the nose in the front. And now the last step is putting on the eyes. So you can go ahead and grab the 2 googly eyes that you got in the kit. I don't have any of the liquid glue with me right now, so I'm just going to use a glue stick. But go ahead and use liquid glue. Okay, so I'm just going to put some glue onto the back end of the googly eye. And I'm going to stick it on right above the nose. And I'm just going to repeat it on the other one. And there you go. You have a chia pet. So it's up to you if you want to keep this end of the sock still on, or you can cut it off. I think I'm going to cut it off. So I'm going to go grab my scissors. So I got my scissors and I'm just going to cut right above the knot. So there's your chia pet, and you're gonna want to water it. So you want to keep the soil nice and wet so the grass seed inside can grow, and then it's gonna make hair for your chia pet. So I'm gonna go give it a water. Alright, so there you go. You've made your own chia pet. It's okay if there's some extra water in the bowl when you water it. The soil is going to soak up just enough water for the grass to grow. So don't worry about that. It'll soak up what it needs. Alright, so I think the last step we need to do is give our little friend a name. So I'm going to name him, Jerry. So I hope you had fun making this craft, and I'll see you next time. Come on, Jerry, I'll bring you to a window.
Thanks, Megan. I'm glad you could all join us this week. Have a great time making your homemade chia pets. I can't wait to see what they look like when the grass grows. See you all on Wednesday. Bye. Bye. Hey, see ya.